Hello everyone and welcome to yet another deck profile, and today we're going to be focusing on the Journey Together format and we're going to be looking at the Feraligatr. Okay, so for our Pokemon we have 3 Totodile, we also have 3 Croconaw, which attack we're going to use the Reverse Thrust, and we have 3 Feraligatr, which are our main attackers. As support Pokemon, to move damage around, we have 3 Munkidori. We also have 2 Phoebus, which evolve into 2 Milotic, behind which we're gonna be hiding. We also have 1 Mimikyu, behind which we'll hide as well. We have 1 Badoo for item lock. And we have 1 Relicanth, so we can use the Croconaw's attack while attacking with Feraligatr. So, for our supporters, we have 4 Arven, which help us search for the item and a tool card. We have 4 Iono for disruption and to reset our hand. And speaking of resetting our hand, we have 2 Professor's Research. We also have 2 Lana's Aid to get the Pokemon and energies from the discard back into our hand. And we also have 1 Crispin. So for our items we have 4 Pokegear to help us search for the supporters. We also have 3 counter catchers because we tend to be behind in prizes. We have 1 Buddy Puffin to get the basic Pokemon from our deck. We have 1 Ultra Ball to get the non-basic Pokemon from our deck. 1 Night Stretcher to get the Pokemon or energies from our discard. We have 1 Earthen Vessel, which helps us find the energies from our deck. And as the A-spec of choice, we have the Precious Trolley. For our Pokemon tool cards, we have 2 TM Evolution. We also have 2 Luxurious Cape, which help us get more HP on our Pokemon. We have 1 Rescue Board. And for our stadiums, we have 2 Artisan. And for our energies, we have 4 basic water energies. We have 3 basic darkness energies. And we have 2 luminous energies. So, talking a little bit about this deck is really fun because it's mainly single prizers and a Milotic that serves as a wall. And another thing about this deck list, it is actually the winner of the Fukuoka Championship League in Japan, which is the only one big tournament that we've had in the post-rotation format, so to say. And yeah, this deck is really fun because you can use Relicanth's ability to use the second attack of the Feraligatr. You can use the ability of the Feraligatr to put damage counters on yourself and move the damage counters with Munkidori onto your opponent's Pokemon, which is really cool. And it also hits for really high numbers. That's why one of the best things about this deck is that it's very resilient to wall decks, which are kind of popping up now in the post-rotation format, like the Milotic wall, the Mimikyu Cornerstone Ogerpon decks. All of them are actually very easy beatable with this deck, which is really cool because Mimikyu doesn't wall you, Milotic doesn't wall you, and you can work around the big Cornerstone Ogerpon as well. So it's kind of a very, very good deck against such wall archetypes. And because of hitting for high numbers, you can hit for 280 on the dot with the Feraligatr, which is enough to knock out some of the big Pokemon in some of the big decks. For example, this deck is also really good in Flareon EX. Because first of all, you hit for weakness. Second of all, you hit for just an appropriate amount of damage to knock them out. And they're gonna go... They can't attack your Milotics because all of their attackers are Terra. So yeah, that's really cool. They can only go take your single prizers while you take their 2 prizers. And another deck that is heavily favored for us, another matchup would be better to say, is the Ends Zoroark, which is also 280 HP, and it's kind of a clunky deck. That's why Feraligatr uses that, and you will once again go for you're gonna take the 2-prizer, they're gonna take the 1-prizer back and forth, and you're probably gonna win against that as well. However, those high-hitting numbers and hiding behind a Milotic is not always an option. For example, Terrabox is a deck that also popped up post-rotation, and it actually, Feraligatr has a horrible matchup. I think win percentage is around 30% or something, because Terrabox can hit your Milotic with Lily's Clefairy. They can also take 2 prizes with their Wellspring Mask Ogerpon, and it's insanely versatile deck, which can really easily beat us if we're playing the Feraligatr deck. Another one that's not all that great is the Dragapult, because they're gonna spread damage around, take multiple prizes at a time, and especially the Gholdengo variant, which can also one-hit knock out your Milotic behind which you're gonna be hiding. So also not kind of an awkward matchup, not all that great. And there is another deck that just drives us out of the water. It's almost an auto lose, and that is the Future Hands. They're gonna take your 1-prizers with the Iron Hands. They're gonna take 2 prizes for each single prizer they're gonna take, and because they hit for weakness, and it's insanely difficult to go against that deck. They're also gonna go. They can also knock out your Milotic, because Iron Hands EX isn't a Terra Pokemon, and you also hit for weakness. So insanely difficult matchup. So yeah, that's all about this deck. So thanks so much for watching, you guys, and catch you next time.